have like a few people that just joined. Unfortunately, late people are always wrong. So if some people join late, no problem. Yeah, it's their fault. Exactly, exactly. I see we have Osbrah. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. We have Lily as well. Good to see you. Very, very good to see you. Love the names that we have in the chat. Names that we didn't see for a while. So that's super good. So yeah, I'm gonna start if it's fine for you, BitBay, to give my view. BitBay is GOAT, of course, man. Of course. And then I leave you the floor, and you can share your screen, and so on and so on. All right, so we just lower the sound here. So guys, I wanted to start with the BTC on the daily, as you can see here. My thesis that I explained quite a few times during the roundtables and stuff. That was the first signal here, bearish signal, losing that value area low here of the range. It's a daily range, right? So first losing this level was not a good sign at all. But I was thinking we would be okay as long as 100k would hold. As you can see here, it was nice support. Even here, we had all these daily candle closes above the level, above the support, and here we had, unfortunately, the confirmation that we definitely entered bearish territory, right? Why? Because high, lower high, and this was the lower high leading to the breakdown of that important support, and also it was a psychological support on top of being a technical one, as it's 100k. Of course, people didn't want to lose that level, right? So now that's that this happened, where we should be looking at, we have a few options. The first one, maybe the most obvious one, is this one. We have an order block here that provided a bounce. However, not gonna lie, I think the bounce is not that crazy considering the level, and it's also a level everyone has been waiting for, like 96, 98, maybe down to 93k, and that order block goes from 96 to 93k anyway. But for now, the reaction is not that great. I'd like to see how it goes. The video shows a guy burning the wall scene. I didn't see this chat, but yeah, you're right. I was saying I'd like to see the reaction during the US session to see if Americans keep dumping every time the market opens, or if New York decides to bid these levels, because it's starting to be interesting in my opinion. And then if it doesn't work, then obviously the next level will be this one. 85k, around 85. It's also some, like a lot of people mentioned in the crypto chat when we had discussions about where the price would find a support level. So pay attention to these two ones. Let's imagine we bounce from here, we don't get lower. Then the condition for me will be to remain patient and wait for this to happen. Reclaim the previous important supports, and then we'll have something interesting to flip bullish again, to try longs again. But until then, it makes sense to try this, it makes sense to try this, but you have to understand you're in a strong bearish trend. You see, since that level is lost on the daily, then you're definitely in bearish territory. So you have to keep in mind every time if you try longs that you're going to be against the current, and considering the strength of the sellers, you're against a strong current, right? Is Osbrah still talking? I cannot hear him anymore. I'm back. Everyone is okay with my microphone? Like I'm not talking for nobody? We can hear? Okay. That's good. Can hear you fine. Okay. I was scared. I was scared. Discord is playing lately. But so yeah, that's my view. On the daily, the most conservative, the most defensive, like really defensive, will tell you that you should wait to see the value area low being reclaimed, because that will also print a change of structure. Because as I said, high, lower high, lower high. Okay, so if we do something like this on the daily, we would inverse the structure and we would flip to a bullish structure with a market structure break right here. However, when it's going to happen, obviously everything can move super fast in crypto, but it's gonna require a lot of patience, right? So if you guys are horny for trades, then yeah, you might try a bit more aggressive one on the reclaim of 100. So that's my view on the daily. I will just move to the order flow very, very quickly. I had this chart here for the intraday session, for today's session. As you can see here, boys, if we zoom in, we will make sure that everyone can see. We had the value area low here that got swept this morning when we tagged the 95.8. Okay, so then we had a reclaim of the value area low. We'll just put candlesticks. It will be better for everyone to see. We reclaimed that value area low. However, you see that now we are stopping at the point of control. Sellers are preventing the price to go above the point of control. However, if you guys were looking for intraday longs, that might be your chance. Here at these levels, personally, I'm gonna pass because I don't like to try to knife catch, but you have a clean invalidation below the wick here at 95.8. You have a clean reclaim of the value area low, and regarding the TPs, then you will have the value area high at 99, and then you will have the 102 resistance, which is our naked point of control just here, plus another block that we have right here. So you have that confluence. Maybe we can also check where the VWAPs here. We have the weekly VWAP as well as resistance, and then this will be obviously potentially a short entry if we want to continue to play the trend. Okay, quick look at the heat maps. Something interesting that we can see here. Yesterday, or it was, yeah, yesterday, we had strong buying volume here, and still passive orders completely wrecked bulls, and the price continued to dump. Right, you see you have a lot of selling activity, not a lot of support until 96, 95k. You see we have strong bids here at 96, then the next ones are going to be at 95, 94, down to 93. So basically this is inside or the block right here. And regarding the liquidation clusters, then 95 has a minor one, and then obviously now most of the liquidity is to the upside. But once again, I like to remind you guys, it's not because we have liquidation clusters above that it means the price will go there and will be attracted like a magnet or whatever. Okay, the price will just move depending on where is the resistance. If like sellers are stronger, obviously price will go down, and if buyers step up and we get like more buying volume than selling volume, then obviously the price will go up until eventually taking the liquidity above. So I don't want to talk too much before I leave the floor to BitBay, because the calls have an interaction still. So that's my view on daily. That's my view for intraday. So I will just cut the stream now and let BitBay expose his idea. I know he's taken a bit of advance this morning and shared his overview on his corner. So if you have if you miss something during the stream, if you need to go back to informative text and just check his corner. I didn't post mine yet. We'll do it after the stream. So BitBay, the floor is yours. You can share your screen and you can also talk, of course.
I have a different way to pull the volume profile. I know you pull only one for this whole thing.
Yeah.
But I prefer to cut it in different what I call the sequences. This is a consolidation which led to this consolidation, and then we're breaking out from it. And I like to separate it. I feel like, I mean, there's no a scientific reason behind it. It's just like it feels like it brings good levels, just like the rejection here at the value area low, and it gives good opportunities overall. So for now, as you said, we are breaking out. With your chart, it's even clearer because we're also breaking out from the whole range, and longs are not safe until we actually reclaim and get acceptance back inside this zone. But until we have that, I advise not to long blindly. However, there's one place that is interesting to me, and to me it's a bit higher, I think, compared to what you showed for the level, for potential, let's say, accumulation phase. So what I do often is whenever we have an impulse, I draw a volume profile for this impulse. So from the lows here to the high, let's say here. I don't need to have the perfect high, it doesn't really matter, because what I want to see is the volume distribution. And here there's a big imbalance, low volume node. You might say it's also AVG, that is true. It's a place where we didn't have a lot of transactions because things happen too fast, and that's why it's called an imbalance. And it's a little bit above that consolidation area with the VAH here that has never been retested. So to me, the probability that we get a reaction here is high. Do we get complete reversal? I'm not sure. But the probability to get a reaction is high. So even for scalping or intraday, we should have a good reaction here to place some interesting longs. But we have to see with time because we're not there yet. It's also under the 0.618 Fibonacci level from the lows to the high. So I can see consolidation around it a bit above and some kind of manipulation to grab the liquidity here and then maybe reverse. What can more or less, let's say, give more reliability to this plan is that this is more or less what happened last time. We had a breakout, and after it was in February, March, we started dumping. You see how after touching the low volume node here, we tried to get back into the range. It got rejected immediately. So this is more or less what happened here, actually. We tried to get back into the range and it got rejected. We made a lower low. We consolidated. We grabbed even more liquidity and we touched the VIH of this impulse high. We completely filled the imbalance. And then after we ran higher. So I'm not saying that this is going to happen exactly the same way because, of course, nothing is guaranteed. But this scenario is definitely not out of touch. So if I make a projection, I will be stopped out. But of course, I don't know how far, how deep we can go. But like this is more or less what could happen. We deep into this, let's say, like this into this 0.618. People think that that the bottom is in, but when we try again to get into that range, we have a rejection, making lower low, and then after we send, which is one scenario I'm interested in. But of course, this is going to happen or not, but not today for sure. So it will take days. It will take a good amount of time before we actually see if this works or not. And honestly, if we start to lose this area and even this area, like if we lose this, to me, this is truly the end of the bull market. But until then, I expect that we will defend this zone quite heavily. I remember there was some news about JP Morgan being interested in buying, I don't know what price, but I think it was around there. That could also, I don't know if this is marketing type of communication. You can maybe tell me, Osbrah, or if this is a real plan, because this can be interesting. And on the 1 hour, so I'm not interested in any trades today. I'm a range type of trader, and today is not ranging at all. So this is definitely the kind of day where I have more chance to lose money than earning money if I do anything. So I'm gonna wait, but this was the range we formed after the breakout on the 3rd of November from this long range. And yeah, we're clearly below it. We already had an attempt to reclaim it. It was during the night, but it was rejected at the value area low. And even though I saw your levels on the TPO, Osbrah, it was around 1 or 2, somewhere
Yes.
around here. We have the POC, so that's
Yeah.
definitely interesting. But even if we get to this level, I'm not interested in shorting. The reason is because I have conflicting biases. My bias is that if we are truly downtrending, we shouldn't not even get acceptance back into this range. So reaching the POC means that potentially we have acceptance here, even though it's like if you remove this, this is definitely a good level to short. But I have conflicting ideas, so I don't trade because nothing. I mean, not everything is aligned in my system. So,
Do you mean, if I can ask you a question to make the
yep.
stream a bit more interactive? If we reclaim that level that you mentioned, so circled in red, you said it could potentially mean that buyers would reclaim the level. Are you also looking at the structure that it would imply, making a higher high, for example?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. Like if we start to get acceptance back into this range here, we make a higher high on a 1 hour time frame, and we get back into this range. It could be like a huge deviation, and we can actually go to the VAH, which would be actually in confluence with the anchored VWAP, and that would be my A plus setup for short.
Okay, you
If we get
anticipated
this,
my next question. I was gonna ask, so then, according to that, where do you want to short?
exactly. So this is an example where this can work as a short, 100%. Like it has potential to work, but it's not my A plus system, so I don't take part in it. That's yeah.
Okay, that's very very interesting because it gives us the same similar levels. I think I was mentioning, yeah, the like 102 and then 105 maybe. So that's interesting. Different
Yeah,
approaches, but similar outcomes. Obviously with
yeah,
slight
definitely.
differences, but yeah, that's very interesting. That's very clear, very clear. So basically, you're looking at slightly below the yearly open, so
Yeah,
slightly below 93K, like taking the liquidity to sum up everything, and then form a reversal after the liquidity grab, and then that would be
yeah,
your long entry condition trigger, right?
yeah. Basically, like I do expect this level not to be touched on the first time. I mean, of course, I can be wrong. We can flush very hard, and this theory is invalidated. But I accept that I expect that the yearly open is going to provide some kind of bounce. We're gonna retest a few times, um, and then when we lose it, we're gonna grab this liquidity that's been resting for like half a year, quite some
Yeah.
time, and then when everyone starts to think that this is the end, it's actually the true beginning to me. But that's a theory among many others, of course. For now, I don't have enough PA to be convinced about it, to be 100% convinced about it. The only conviction I have is like we will not reach that easily, except if we have bad news this weekend, for instance, or a big institution selling everything in one market order. Of course, that can happen. Um, but I do expect at least this area to provide a strong reaction.
Okay, clear. That's pretty clear. We have also Deep Dive in the chat telling us is looking at a reclaim of 100K, and then that would trigger a long until 108, and then from 108 we can look for shorts down to 91, 93K. Just gonna give my opinion quickly about this. I do agree with the 100K reclaim that could trigger some longs. Definitely, I definitely do agree. However, I think if we go back to 108, 109, like basically above 107, that has been an important level. I don't see why we would go back down to 90K. Obviously, things will change. We're gonna like adapt. We're going to adapt. The goal is not to make fancy predictions, but I mean, if we find enough gas to jump from current prices to above 107, I think it will be a signal that we resume the uptrend. That just my opinion. Obviously, I want to always repeat there is no right or wrong. I'm just sharing my POV. What do you think about this BitPay?
Yeah, so if we do, I mean, the candle close is not finished. So I'm going to use the 4-hour chart like Deep does so we can have the same scope. So to me, if we do manage to reclaim this level, which is 100, yeah, and we get acceptance above it, so this is exactly the level of DIPTA, right?
Yeah.
The probability that we get to value area high is quite a high, but then after maybe we get the strength to get the liquidity because like it's true we still have all this gap here that hasn't been touched. So yeah, we could see go there, but uh, I would say that the probability, I mean, the probability we get to the value area high at 105K is kind of high. I do agree. Like if we do manage to reclaim this level, but above it, it could be a little bit too much of a stretch. But we will have to wait and see how the PA develops in that case, hour by hour, depending on maybe if you have good news, maybe I mean kind of you're looking for December for a lot of interesting news to happen, if I remember correctly, Osbrah. So maybe
Yeah.
this can push us to there.
Yeah, the news you're referring to are the official end to the quantitative tightening from the Federal Reserve, the 1st
Exactly.
of December.
Exactly.
Maybe I can try to ask my question a bit differently. I mean, if we, like right now, we are 97, 96, 97. If we go back to 108, like at what point can we say we are shifting the structure from bearish to bullish, at least on low time frame? Because if going above 100k is still bearish, which I completely understand, and as I said before, I can agree with it. We can still go to, in my opinion, to 102, maybe 105, and remain bearish. But if we flip 100, we flip 102, we flip 104, 107, then when we can say, okay, now it's safe to flip bullish at least for low time frame. And
Yeah.
it's not a trick, by the way. It's not a trick at all.
No, for me, I have a very clear plan that I'm sharing. I use for trends. I use this anchored VWAP. Actually, it's not put. So the anchored VWAP is a VWAP, but instead of using the daily, the weekly, or whatever, I use swing point as the start. Basically, when this downtrend started, and it started on the 27th of October at 116K.5. And you will realize that in trending environment, we can say this one doesn't count because it just started, but like we have touched the VWAP twice, it got heavily rejected.
Yeah.
And in a steep trend, a very aggressive trend, even the first standard of deviation is acting as an interesting point to play the continuation. I can remove that to make it clearer. And so this was a very strong downtrend. We rejected. We started to get acceptance back, and that's why we managed to climb up to the VWAP, but we got rejected. And to me, I'll remove this one. To me, we are shifting the trend when this VWAP is flipped and we get acceptance above it. Starting from now, if we do have that, I will no longer consider that we are in a downtrend or slow bleed environment. And you can look at the market structure, because if we want to get that, it means we need to break the market structure. But we did break the market structure here, but we didn't sustain too long, and because the VWAP served as a resistance here. So for me, this is my indicator that will tell me immediately that I need to shift my bias and the context is no longer bearish, or at least not strongly bearish. And we can be ranging or we can be bullish depending on the next days and how the PA will develop. I don't know if you use this concept or if you use anything different, Osbrah, to answer your own question.
I was gonna say it will explain. It will tell what I think, but also it will just be a way to try to simplify what you just said. And I see some reactions in the chat, so I guess it was interesting question. If we break, we have nice confluence with the anchored VWAP. We also, I can see we have your it's your value area high, right?
Mhm.
And we have 107 that is just a strong resistance level. So we have a nice confluence here, a cluster of confluences. Let's say we break that level with displacement. Basically, that would be the trigger for longs or for a shift from bearish bias to bullish bias.
Uh, Une question for me?
Yeah, for you, for
Yeah.
Deepta that has been interacting with us as well.
Um, so for me, acceptance is like, yeah, it's we break about it, and we see that there's a candle trying to get below it, like it's getting acceptance above it, and we see that the bears try to push it back down, and it got absorbed, some kind of, and like this, when I see that, I'm like, okay, this is the moment when the bears are no longer able to sustain the price below it, and the people are buying. And to me, like this is a strong indicator. But it's not just one candle, like because we can easily have one candle up, and the next candle is a bearish engulfing candle, and then you're like, ah, okay, that was a fake out. So this can happen too.
Okay, okay. That's I
And
like it. Love it, love it.
and for Aquathumb, sorry if I just answered the question from Aquathumb. What do you use that high for the VWAP and not the ATH? Because I'm looking at the current trend from the ATH. Yes, we also downtrending. I could do that maybe on a higher time frame. Would be interesting to do that on a higher time frame. Up to see where it is standing, and it's standing at 1010 almost. But see like how we close above it. We stayed one day above it, but we didn't manage to prevent the sell-off after. So that was not a real acceptance here.
And also, from what I understand, you how can I say, you like to use sequences, as you said at the beginning of the stream. So you also do
Yeah,
that. You do that for your volume profile, but you also do it for your anchored VWAP. So basically, you cut the price action into sequences, and
yep.
this is why you take the anchored VWAP from 115 and not from all time high, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because to me, this is more like a range area. Like we had a sharp downtrend, but that didn't last long because we had a huge liquidation. It happened in one day. So actually, that's better than now, right? Where we're downtrending for many days now, and then we ranged for a while. So for me, like this is a range period, and then we broke out from this range, and I want to know what was the last high, um, where we broke from, and this is a trend. Um, Also, you might say I can start it there, and yeah, that is true, but this is more like a new phase for me. So I could say we didn't manage to break above the higher band of the VWAP, and actually the VWAP here I got respected, breakout. We tried to get out again, like to retest it, but we failed. We tested here. Actually, maybe it was better to put it there.
Yeah.
Now you make me realize. But to me, the trend really started there. So that's why I put it there. But as you can see, like you have different ways to put it. And yeah, it's true. Like if I pull it from this sequence, it would have provided a good amount of opportunities somehow. But yeah, since I'm already using the volume profile for this sequence, it kind of overlaps in terms of information. Oops, I took the wrong thing. Because I already know like how the volume is distributed here. I know where is the POC, where are the high volume nodes, where are the VAL, VIH. So I just want to know how the volume has been distributed since the downtrend. So that way it's complementary a bit more.
Okay. Great. If I can move slightly forward, Gasper anticipated my Next question for you. I covered this a little bit at the beginning of the stream, but like right now, because we both focused on trading view, and that's very important to just focus on price action, in my opinion, instead of like jumping straight to order flow and focus on very low time frame movements. I think right now the trending price action is like prevails over short term movements. Could be an interesting debate if some people have counter arguments. But what you're looking at the order flow, like in terms of order flow right now, like what do you see, what you're looking at? That's a question from Gasper. How's the order flow looking here? If you can just take us to your MMT charts and
Yeah,
explain to us first what you're looking at and then what it tells you. If I can say it like that.
yeah. Sure. I mean, it's always in this order, like you said, right? First is price action on high time frame to build
Yeah.
context. Otherwise, order flow is just noise if you don't have context, in my opinion. And then I actually do more or less what you do. I looked at the TPO first. I always look at that um, because what I like to try to find is always a confluence between price action dimension, volume dimension, and then time dimension. And if all of these three dimensions converge into one area, I'm really interested in that area. Um, as you said earlier, you pointed out we have a nice POC here at 102. We have a lot of unfinished business here, but because we are in downtrend, so it's less likely we touch them. We have no, this NPOC got cleared. I don't see volume and POC, just the time POC here. Or maybe it's no, the POC is here, so we already cleansed that. And we have potentially a double distribution day. I don't know if you use that, Osbrah.
Personally, no. And you see that meme. Wait, let me just send something in the chat, so I can explain the
Yeah.
how I feel. Wait, just give me a sec. I need to find it. Just need to find it. Every time I hear double distribution, I'm like this.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is something I learned from Rouge, so that I'm just reusing his knowledge for that. It's like when we have some kind of distribution on the highs and the lows, which is separated by a huge batch of single prints. And what it means is that when price revisits the the imbalance, the time imbalance, we have two reactions. Either it rejects it like at the entrance and we almost don't feel it. We don't feel the imbalance. We just touch the entrance and we reject it. Or we feel it almost completely and we go back to the initial balance, which is here. So I guess it's 98.7, something like this. So it's possible that either we barely touch it and we go lower, or if we get like if we spend a bit more time, we just go straight up directly to this distribution again.
Okay. And basically, how do you play these double distributions?
Rouge says today isn't the double distribution, so maybe I didn't learn it that fast. The only thing that is to me maybe not fully is like we didn't spend enough time here, and top
Double
distribution is
distribution.
thin. Yeah, exactly. So that's the only thing that because in the drawing here, like it has to be almost same
Similar. Okay. 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 Okay.
similar time spent. Yeah. So that
Okay. I
could be
get
the
you.
only reason why it may not be. But anyway, I'm not longing based on that because as I told you, I'm not longing until we truly reclaim uh, the value area low, which is higher.
Okay. 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 Interesting.
Then yeah, I don't see nice TPO confluence except this one, which is also what we saw the POC here.
Yep.
maybe on the 1 hour chart, because I know sometimes okay, it's a bit below.
Yeah, 102
And
is very interesting.
yeah, I mean, everything has been cleared. Like, it's not messy at all. It used to be messy. Like, we had the poor highs, we had a lot of single prints, but everything got cleared except this POC that got barely front run. But everything is clear here. There's nothing to work with, in my opinion.
What do you mean by everything is clear?
So when I look at TPO, I look at key point of interest.
Yeah.
I'm looking for poor highs, poor lows. So it means
Okay.
that highs where we did spend a lot of time, in case people don't know exactly what's a poor high or poor low. And when there's a poor high, it's very likely that we sweep it one day or another. And we did it later. I look at single prints because this is time in balance. The price spent so little time here that it's more likely that many traders didn't have the time to get involved. People are sleeping, people are eating, they are going out, they're going to the gym. They didn't manage to get the price the Bitcoin at this price because it spent too little time. That's why it's an imbalance. I'm looking at point of controls like this one. And this is in red is the time point of control. So it's like where we spend the most time during yesterday's session. It was at 102, 102K. And in yellow, it's the daily volume point of control that I hide because otherwise it's too messy. But I just keep them here in case that I see a naked point of control. And this one got cleared here. This one got cleared here. This one got cleared already. And there's everything that's cleared. There's no poor highs, no single print, no point of control except this one at 107,500. And
Yeah, and
then
there is
there's
one
literally nothing to
slightly
work with.
above, slightly above
Is
the
this one?
price.
Yeah. This is
I
the closest.
was
Why?
Yeah, I was talking about the single print. Sorry. See
Okay.
that single print that we have just from 98 to 98.6 just here. And then beside that, yeah, as you said, everything is clear.
And on the downside is the void because, well, we don't really have any price action until like a long time ago, so it's not loading. Then after I really have the same routine as you do, Osbrah. Honestly, I'm not inventing hot water. you know,
Yeah,
this is a
yeah,
French expression, so you understand it, right?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
but I'm not inventing anything. I see a lot of layers of people looking to buy. We have a good buy order at 92 millions at 94K. 95K, we have 54 minutes. I mean, these are round numbers you will always have. But I see like people are getting interested in the 93.6 here. That's interesting.
Yeah, yearly open, basically. It's the
Ah,
yearly
yearly
open.
open. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's why the yearly open will provide the reaction. I mean, unless we have excessive news, 93K, and you see here that's funny. Someone is layering a lot of bids, like 2 million every. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I didn't notice
I don't
that.
know.
Can you show your settings on the heat map just to see on like the
Yeah,
range of okay,
um,
so from 20 BTC to 235. Okay, okay. So
I
we have
can
something very similar.
put a screenshot in the chat for those who may have missed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we have. Did you notice that it always pissed me off because, like this there's one spoofer like he puts 200 million bids like every 5 minutes up and down. I don't know how. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's just doing it because there's benefit, but I don't know how this benefits him doing so.
Uh we had a lot like yesterday the same thing happened. There was one guy putting 200 millions something like that and then he just removed it. Like I don't know why they've been spoofing the market lately. Maybe it was just to trap people into thinking the price would find some support and obviously it didn't. So yeah, there is always like shady reasons to do spoofing. Anyway, like keep in mind that spoofing in traditional markets is illegal. just to
Yeah, yeah, I
just,
know,
just to
but
put it into context for the members.
it, it's not like this is the only crime that's happening on crypto.
Yeah, exactly,
Let's be honest.
exactly.
And
But just to
liquidation,
say that the purpose of spoofing is never like good. It's never a virtuous purpose.
yeah, Hasbullah, I have no idea. I because to me, like this is so obvious. This is spoofing, right? And not real intent to buy or sell. So I don't take that into account. But then, since it's so obvious, then how can he trick people? You know what I mean?
I mean,
That's the problem I have, and I don't understand why it can work. But he's been doing that since I have MMT, so probably he's done that before as well.
yeah, but the thing, how it benefits spoofers to do that, first, it can be him or it can be they, right? The thing is, it's very, very similar to what inducement is. What's inducement on the chart is when you see, for example, let's say you have an asset that is at 99 and 100 will be the inducement level. So basically, they just prevent the price from going above 100. Imagine a line at 100 and the price just hit 100, but it never goes above. So people will think, oh, okay, it's fine. We have a strong resistance. We have a lot of selling pressure here, so I can short with confidence, right? And then they remove the sell wall, and then the price just smash through, and you liquidate everyone. And then this is usually how market makers, exchanges, etc., make their money. So the spoofing is very, very similar stuff. Basically, you make people think that, oh, okay, I'm comfortable with my long here because, oh, look at these guys, they're like adding 200 millions of buying pressure, so I'm safe, it's fine, I can long with my $20, and then they remove the buy wall, they remove the support, and then the price fall, right? And then at the same time, it requires a lot of stuff to look at. You can look, for example, at the inflows, outflows, and then you will know if, for example, these guys are spoofing with perps, but at the same time, if you're like sending massive amount of coins into an exchange, spot, I'm talking about spot, then you can clearly understand, like never fully understand, but you can guess that they're like trying to trick people while they're just dumping their spot, right? And then they will open their shorts and they will print massive amount of money. This is like a little bit complex because it implies a bit more than just, oh, okay, they bid here. No. Most of the time, they also like play with inflow. They back in the days, they used their coins as a margin to short or to long, and not the USDT, so it was even less visible for the retail. So yeah, anyway, it's never with a good purpose in mind. It's always to
Yeah, yeah, of
it's always
course.
to harm the masses, us basically.
Yeah, the best is to ignore and act as if they don't exist.
Yeah.
If you're using the heat map, always trust the bids and ask if they have at least a couple hours. They've been resting for a couple hours. Like this one has been resting for a long time at 96K. It got cleansed, but we had a nice FFP. That's actually the last thing I wanted to check. Um, if we have some kind of divergence, because yeah, we have a lot of sellers here, and we saw earlier like that week went into two layers of uh, passive buyers, which were kind of thick, and that's why we bounced, because like they exhausted all the aggressive sellers at the bottom, and they filled all the orders here. So I wanted to see if we had some kind of interesting divergence. No, but we have open interest going up, meaning more and more people are opening trades. But maybe we have to wait a little bit more. I don't see. Do you see anything, Osbrah, interesting?
No, actually, I was gonna ask you because I forgot to cover this aspect of order flow when I did my analysis. What about the CVD right now? What does it tell you? I see you don't use spot CVD.
Um,
You focus on
I
perps.
tried. Yeah, I tried, And to me, it feel like it added a little bit too much noise
Of
because
noise, yeah.
to me, it's more like trying to predict how the market might go if there's a divergence between spot and perps. While to me, I'm more into um, trying to find where the market will react.
Okay, okay.
I don't know if it's clear,
Yeah, no,
but yeah,
it makes sense.
I
You don't want to
understand
have the noise of the spot players, the investors, blah blah
yeah
blah. Yeah.
yeah as a play level by level.
Okay, so like right now I see it's on the CVD perps and the open interest. Like, what
Yep.
does it tell you? Do you have any interpretation, or is it too early for now to have a clear idea?
I think it's a bit too early because like I don't see any divergence between CVD and the price unless you do see one, but to me
No, there is
they
not.
seem very similar. And the only thing I can see like this liquidated a lot because we have a huge flush of open interest, right?
Yeah,
But this one we went lower, but actually we had more people involved with new trades, and this is more or less from.
this is quite bearish though. Like when you
I'm not
see that
sure.
the increase that you had on the open interest and the price, like after the liquidation and the price was still going down, right?
I mean, this happened here, right? It
Maybe
happened on
yeah.
this candle when this is the flush, and this is
With
where
the
it started to
liquidation,
go
yeah.
up again.
Okay.
And as you can see, like this candle, there was a lot of sellers. There was a huge red bubble, and we had 80 million of dollars of Bitcoin bought here passively, and we had another layer of 26 million here, and of course we had many more here. We have even no, that is the spoofer. We had many millions in between. So let me check this. Let me check this. So wait, why is the wick not as low as here?
Look at the time, so it will give more accurate way to
10.
find it.
Yeah, yeah, okay, because it's
Yeah,
here.
yeah, it's here. Yeah, yeah, that's why.
Look at that. Look at that. All these sellers
Yeah.
absorbed. All of that 73 million
But then this
aggressive
is why
sellers.
you had a push after that, because we squeezed them basically.
Exactly. So that's why, did we feel this imbalance? Yeah, we did. We filled. Yeah, we did. We have another imbalance here. Yeah, I think it's possible that we have some kind of local low here because we had a lot of aggressive sellers here. Everything got absorbed very well, and the aggressive sellers kind of stopped. I mean, they still exist, but like not as strong as here.
Yeah.
And the open interest skyrocketed, meaning that a lot of new orders were filled. So on this one, and people are coming in after. Um, yeah. It's not enough information for me to say, yeah, this is the bottom, I should long, because this is not a level I'm interested in. So that's why I always say order flow is noise, unless the order flow is at a key area that you identified earlier. So to me, this is all noise, and that's why I'm not that interested in it. And yeah, I don't really have a conclusion about it. I don't know if you have anything, Osbrah.
No, just explain quickly. I just said it's. I think it's what happened, what you showed on the heat map with the strong selling and the trapped sellers, etc. I think it's bearish because right after we had a move up that was most likely a squeeze, with increased open interest like crazy, and then still the price after the squeeze was over. You see the massive amount of longs on the blue candle just on the left. No, on your footprint. Sorry, in the middle screen.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
You see here. Yeah, exactly, exactly. You see the massive amount of longs. So that was what made this the squeeze basically, and then the
Mm-hmm.
price is now back to trending down. You
True.
know, it's not sustained at all. So it means, yeah, you had like these trapped sellers, they got squeezed, fine. And then you had longs being very, very excited. They showed up
Yeah, yeah.
and still they're getting smashed again because there is nothing sustained. Like there is no upside movement being sustained for now.
Yeah, like 12 million aggressive buyers here trapped. Let me see. On the 30 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of imbalance above.
Well, look at all these imbalances, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. It looks like we don't even manage to pass this area, to pass maybe New York, but anyway, it's very shitty to trade. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
If we look at this area, yeah, you see, if we look only at what's visible in this range, all the aggressive sellers in the bottom, all the aggressive buyers here, almost. We have wait, yeah, like this.
Yeah.
So far, all the buyers, as you exactly pointed out, they are being absorbed here. Like here, if I can draw, like here, we had a lot. Oops, a lot of passive sellers, and all the buyers didn't manage to get above that. So what we can see is like if we manage to close above it and get acceptance above that box, maybe we will continue to squeeze, but so far it looks like it's the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, and price
Like
is now going back down, sorry, after rejecting from point of control. And if you look at the heat map, something interesting, I'm looking at the heat map on M5 and I see that 97.3 had a massive amount of sellers being interested, and they just opened like a crazy sell wall.
yeah,
Yeah. Here at 97 to 98.
97 to 98.
That's basically the white dots that you have on your chart. Just here,
This,
yeah, this one, yeah,
but like the 197, it's the spoofer. I never take it into account. However, the
yeah.
one at 30 million is the real one.
30 million. Okay, the 29. Okay.
I mean, yeah, 29. And now it's 26, I guess.
I will just
Like
like
price is
show
going too
you
much.
in the chat. I just posted, and it's here on. Maybe my settings are slightly different, but you see it's super obvious that 97.3 white bar indicating
Yeah.
the big sell wall, and the price just instantly went down.
If you want, I can give back you the right to project because I've been projecting my screen for a while. So if you want to
Yeah,
show
but
more,
it's fine because we are very complementary. We look at the same stuff, and then so talking over it is, in my opinion, is fine. And also, it's going to be the end of the stream, and I think we covered most of the stuff we both look at regarding our own strategies. And yeah, like as with the only thing I can say to conclude is that, as you can see, guys, we had a move up after taking the liquidity below 96, and the price action to the upside is not sustained at all. So it means we're not done yet. Now I think it doesn't make any sense to try doing something before the US session, because it's been the session that was giving the truth over the last few days, for the last few days. So I would recommend to wait. Unless you're already engaged in a short or in a long. I would say sit on your hands, wait for the US session. Also remember that it's Friday, guys, and that we're gonna enter the weekend, and the weekend is even more prone to manipulation. So if you think that lately we had a lot of manipulation happening, then on the weekend it can be much worse. And after such terrible price action, it's never a bad idea to touch grass and to reset the batteries, to relax and to come with a fresh mindset on Monday when the weekly session opens again. So yeah, and I just had an alert. What is that? Like, what is that?
I think I had one too.
It's
Ah,
yours, I think. Yeah, it's yours. Okay, I thought it was me.
yeah, I put I draw ranges on altcoins and I put alerts on value area high and value area low
Yeah.
on the 1 hour chart, and so every hour I have alerts.
BTC also has Death Cross, so this weekend it will be full of manipulation. I think this weekend is really perfect to just like focus on something else, maybe refine your strategy, read books, enjoy time with your relatives, something like whatever, but something that is not correlated to trading the markets. Maybe focus on the macro because we'll have important stuff happening in the next few days, next few weeks. Remember the Supreme Court argument with the Trump administration regarding the tariff, but also December the 1st. That is a crucial date for the US economy, with the Federal Reserve ending the quantitative tightening once again. Can we record also all the streams than roundtables and put them in videos and playlist? Uh, Personally, something I can suggest, JD. For example, if I do a stream, or if I do a stream with BitBay again, and you want it to be recorded, just ask at the beginning of the stream, so we can make sure you can benefit from the live session as well. But just notify us, because it's true that we don't always think about recording all the streams, and also it depends on the everyone's storage on his computer. But if you start to record streams every day, then you will have an issue pretty quickly. So I'm open to find a solution with the team how we can make these live sessions available for people who cannot join. But I think it's also losing its relevancy if we start to make them all available, because the purpose of having a live session. But I do understand. So let's see what we can do about it, JD. We'll try to do something about that.
Do you have any odds you're looking at, Osbrah, or you're waiting completely?
Personally, looking at no altcoins. Clear, okay. Crystal clear. No altcoins until Bitcoin does something significant. For now, altcoins, dangerous territory.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I just have one that's really interesting, but not now. It's XRP. I don't know if you have noticed. It's one of the few altcoins that managed to claim back into the 10-10 liquidation event.
It was my alert level. We have the exact same idea. It was an area I wanted to long. My alert got triggered. Also, we have the ETF narrative. And I don't know if we had the time to discuss about it together, but also I have a theory that Ripple is going to be applying to the knees sooner or later, and that might do something similar to Circle. They might have access to the Nasdaq index. They might be introduced, and of course it doesn't have anything to do with the token. But remember that it's a dumb industry, and we are the elite in Chroma, right? The members, the analysts. But it's a dumb industry, so you can be sure that if you see something like, Ripple is going to be introduced in the stock market, then you will see people thinking it's going to have anything to do with the token, and the token will pump. Exactly what happened with a Trump SPAC when it got merged with Crypto.com. The stock didn't even push, but the token CRO did.
Yeah, I don't have the fundamental analysis skills like you do, but I definitely be happy to learn about the whole story. Probably not today. We are nearing the end, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, same level. But I'm waiting for a full confirmation before entering. As you can see with the arrows, I'm not entering now. I feel like it's too dangerous. We don't know how deep the deviation can go. But definitely, if Bitcoin starts to find some kind of random bottom place, I'll be looking at XRP as a strong coin to long. I cannot answer the question from Gasper. That's why I wanted to talk rapidly about that.
Very good. I think we will finish on Max's question. Can you quickly look at pump? Personally, as I said, as I'm not looking at altcoins, I don't have any level. But if you can just take a quick glance at pump, and then we'll end the stream on that note. And while you go to the chart and mark the levels, I will just quickly answer your question. What you said about the fundamentals. Basically, a SPAC is like a company that has no purpose than being a cash reserve, right? So they just have a lot of cash, and and their purpose is to wait for like a company that is in need of cash that is going to be introduced in the stock market. And so they merge, and obviously the SPAC owners have shares in that company that result from the merge, and then they make money when the stock is starts to be introduced and fly, because it's like a new token being issued. most of the time you have a pump when a company is being introduced to the stock market. So that's basically how it works, and this is what happened with crypto.com. If we get a bounce, will ALS also move rapidly, or BTC will lead by margin? I think BTC will lead. We have the live session, live BitBay markups on pump.
I do quite fast, but I
Yeah.
cut again sequences, right? Um, I think, I mean, we are the very, very low. So if I remove all the context or everything about Bitcoin, I would say, yeah, this is the moment when I'm actually looking at what's happening. What I would like to see for a good trigger long, like a high quality setup, some kind of acceptance, maybe we sweep some liquidity. And if I see that we reclaim strongly the very area low, I'll be looking for long with, I don't know, depending how deep the thing goes. And I'll be looking at, yeah, you won't like it, Osbrah. I know you don't like the 2-hour trades. To
It's
me, I
fine.
love
I
it.
think it works better lately. I think it works much better than trying to go for high R setups lately. So it's
Yeah,
good.
I mean, the conditions are tough for to have both high probability and high RR trades.
Yeah.
Like it's either one or the other. Um, but one of the reasons why I love making this kind of sequence, like we see, we try again to get accepted back into this range. We got rejected, and we go back to value area low. So these levels are often very clean. Sometimes it just touch the value area low. Sometimes it goes a little bit inside, but we don't. But they always respect the the small swing high, and we never cross it. So that's why I like to cut it in this way. I feel like it's been working very well on the macro with many coins. So that's why I recommend people who are looking at the macro to consider what I'm doing, to consider doing what I'm doing. Right? I think that's it, Osbro, unless you want to
No, that's
add anything else.
oh, that's perfect. That's it. So I hope, guys, we covered most of what you were looking for attending the stream. If you have any questions, whatever it's for me or for BitBay, remember that you can just tag us in the crypto chat or trading question, or even if you have a chart that you want us to review, just go to chart ideas and tag us with your chart. Thankfully, we both super active in the Discord, so you should have an answer super fast. That's the good thing. And yeah, if you guys would also like more collaboration streams, then we can do that more often. Personally, it was a pleasure because from time to time I like to have the role of asking the questions and driving a little bit
Yeah,
the stream. And
appreciate
also,
it.
yeah, and also BitBay is a talent that I really, really do appreciate because, as I said, super active, provide a lot of value in the Discord. So I really do appreciate. So
Thank you.
yeah, that's gonna be the end of the stream, guys. See you later. Just gonna have lunch and yeah, to talk to you later, guys. If you have any question though, feel free
Yeah,
and you're
we're always
welcome.
available. We're here for that. Thank you, Osbra, for inviting me. It was nice to do the for the first time with you, like first collab with you.
My pleasure, man.
And yeah, I would say next time we can do in French, but
No, we're gonna get roasted.
exactly. All right, have a nice day and stay safe, everyone. I think today is gonna be a tricky day. Don't try to be the hero buying the Pico bottom because we are not at the Pico bottom for me. It's not an area for the Pico bottom, so it wouldn't make sense to me. So be careful. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Cheers.